Hey guys, and welcome back for another video. Today we'll be wrapping up the Saving Skyscales collection, and this will be the third and final part of my video series. If you haven't caught the earlier versions, we will only be going over the Desert Highlands chunk of this today, so if you followed other guides but haven't finished the Desert Highlands, this should work well for you as well. To get started, take the southeasternmost waypoint, or the Macaulay Outpost waypoint, and from the waypoint you want to begin heading north out of the village. And you can continue to head north, keeping an eye on your right-hand side for a gate covered in fire. Now you might remember this from the story, but all we have to do is take our raptor mount and jump the small gap towards that gate, and as you approach the gate, you'll want to switch to your springer to get up and over that gate. From here, you just want to follow the path straight for a while until you start to see some more branded crystals showing up. And eventually you should notice some floating branded platforms just in front of you. Switch to your springer and jump up a couple of the nearby ledges, and you should be able to make one final jump on your springer to the floating branded platform where you'll see your next concentration of magic, this time for Spirit. Next, we'll need to head to the Tomb of Primeval Kings, and we'll be taking the Lemold Crawl waypoint. And from that waypoint, you just want to make your way east past all of the wooden structures in the surrounding area. Eventually, you'll enter a more branded area, and you'll see a large wooden wall. Switch to your springer and jump over that wall, and from here on your left-hand side you should see a large building or the Tomb of Primeval Kings. Just make your way over there, looking on your left-hand side for an opening. And when you find it, just follow that all the way back until the room just about dead ends, where you'll see your next concentration of magic, this time for Death. Now we need the Brightwater waypoint, and from that waypoint you want to head northwest, following the sand in between the water to your left and the cliff faces to your right. You'll want to hug the cliff and keep looking on your right-hand side, as we are looking for an opening, and once you find a ledge with an opening on the other side, you should be able to switch to your springer and jump up inside. From here, you just need to head north past the Choya. After a short while, you'll see a waterfall, and we'll be using our springer mount to get up on top of the waterfall. From here, you should see a bunch of cauliflower crops growing, and in the middle of that cauliflower crop, you'll see your next concentration of magic, this time for Growth. Now we only need one more waypoint, and that'll be the Derelict Delve waypoint, or the northwesternmost waypoint in the snowy region of the Desert Highlands. And from that waypoint, we'll just be headed south into the Derelict Delve. Now, before we get any farther with this guide, I want to mention a couple of things about the Derelict Delve itself. Put simply, the Derelict Delve is a puzzle where you'll be collecting some plates, using those plates in front of doors, and then going into the rooms of those doors to find more plates for your next door. You may have already completed this content, and if you have, then you really just need to go into the Room of Fire, Room of Ice, and Room of Water to get the last 3 collection items. This guide is assuming you've never done it before, and will be getting all of those plates for the door to get into each one of these rooms. Do know that if you have a plate and you use a waypoint or you die, you will lose that progress and have to grab that plate again. Now, with all that said, just head south through the opening into the Derelict Delve. Take your first right as you come into the Derelict Delve, and then as you make your first left, stop, turn back the way you came, and jump that chasm with your raptor mount. Follow this platform into the room, and as you approach some stairs, go down those stairs and take your first immediate left. Inside this room, you'll see your first plate, and once you've picked it up, you can leave the room, this time leaving to the left-hand side. Just up those stairs, you'll see a door, and you'll just need to place that plate on the ground and then use the door to go inside. In this room, or the ice room, you'll just want to follow all the way to the very back of the room. Before you reach the very back of the room, you should see that there are several bridge-like structures, and you'll just need to use your springer to jump up and grab your dwarven runestone. You can only carry one at a time, so just turn back and leave the room. On the other side of the door, just head forward on your skimmer mount, and once you're right in front of the first room, you just need to make a left turn off of the edge and use your skimmer mount to hover down to the next door, or the fire door. In front of the door, place your first plate, switch back to your skimmer, and fall off of the edge towards the lava, making your way to the west, where you'll see a portal that'll take you back to the top. On the other side of the portal, switch to your skimmer and drop down off of the ledge you spawned on. On your right hand side, you should see an opening leading to a bridge, and you'll want to follow that bridge until it dead ends, and then start heading east to get back to the ice door. This time in the ice room, you just want to follow it all the way back, where you'll see an opening to a lower level. Fall down to that lower level and follow it all the way back until it dead ends again. Here you just want to get on your springer and jump up onto the ice cliff, and it's on this cliff that you'll find your next concentration of magic, of course, for ice. Before leaving this room though, be sure to grab a dwarven runestone on the nearby wall, and then just make your way back out of the room. Just like before, use your skimmer to glide down to the fire door, and now we have both plates necessary to enter the room. Once inside, switch to your skimmer mount to avoid some enemies, and make your way straight down the stairs and into the central room. Take a right and jump up some of the structures, allowing you to avoid the lava but make your way around the room, and eventually you should be able to make a jump to a nearby platform that has your next dwarven rune. Before leaving the room though, do make sure to jump down into the lava below, as you'll find your next concentration of magic, of course, for fire. Fall down on your skimmer until you can reach that teleporter to take you back to the top. Just like before, we'll be headed towards that same bridge, only this time, instead of following the bridge back, you want to start to head north, hovering on your skimmer to the next lowest ledge. You should find yourself in front of another door, this time with 3 plates, so just be sure to place your first one, and then you can actually just get on your skimmer and glide right back to the fire room. Just like the first time, use your skimmer to avoid some enemies, only this time instead of heading towards the central room, you'll want to deviate to the right hand side. Follow this hallway and try to use your mount to avoid some incoming fire damage as well as some enemies, and right in front of the volcano, you should be able to switch to your skimmer and jump up on a nearby ledge for your next runestone. Now you just need to leave the room, fall off the edge to grab the teleporter, use your skimmer to glide off of that bridge side and make your way back to the door, place your plate, and then use your skimmer to glide back to the fire room. Now we only need one more plate, and this one's pretty easy to get. Just follow the stairs until they just about dead end, and on your left hand side, in a little bit of a corner, you should see your next dwarven runestone. Leave the room, fall down to the teleporter, use the bridge to get to the door, place your final plate, and now you'll be in a room filled with spiders. Like before, I recommend using your skimmer mount to try and avoid as many of the enemies as possible, and when the hallway opens up into a room, you'll just want to make your way to the right hand side. Be wary of the spider webs, as interacting with any of those will drop a bunch of spiders on you, but on the ground next to a nearby pillar you should see your next dwarven runestone. Leave this room, avoiding as many of the spiders as you can, and once you're on the other side of the door, just get on your springer mount and make a right. On the edge of the platform, you can use your springer to jump to the next ledge, and this will be your next door. Place your plate in front of the door, and then you could just turn around to head right back into the spider room. Follow the hallway all the way down on your skimmer, and this time you want to make a left. Go as far left as you can, and then navigate to the back of the room, avoiding as many of the spider webs as you can. You should already be able to see your next runestone, and you'll want to remember this area, as we'll be coming right back after placing this plate. Leave the room, use your springer to jump up, and jump back to the nearby door, where you could place your plate, turn around, and come right back into the room. Remember, we're just headed right back to where we were last time, so just be patient and try to avoid any of the spider webs that you can. And once you're in the far back of that room, you can switch to your springer and jump up on top of the spider webs that were above you. Once on top, stay to the outside edge and head east. On the ground next to the second to last pillar, you should see your next rune stone. Leave the room, use your springer to jump up, place your plate, and then head right back into the room. For the last rune stone, we'll need to get back up on top of the spider webs, so head to the back corner of the room, jump up on your springer, and this time you'll just want to head south. On the ground from the second pillar from where you came up, you should see your last and final rune stone. Leave the room, jump up with your springer, place your final plate, and now you're in the room of water. If you head straight into the room, you'll see a giant dark hole, and you'll just need to drop all the way down inside. Even before you hit the water, you should see a spiral staircase, and in the center of that staircase in the water, you'll see your next concentration of magic, or your last concentration of magic, this time for water. And now you're basically done. You just need to head back to Sun's Refuge, where we originally spoke with Gorik, and speak with him one more time to wrap up this collection. To anyone out there trying to wrap up saving Skyscales, I hope you found these videos helpful, and at the very least, if you just needed some help with the Derelict delve portion, I hope this was helpful as well. As always guys, thank you so much for watching any of these videos, and I'll see you in the next one.